country is disgusting. I don't care what nobody says. This motherfucker just took away the Equal Employment Act. I can't, you cannot make this shit up. I don't give a fuck. You can call me a crying liberal. I don't give a fuck. You guys are disgusting. This country is disgusting.
This headline has been going viral. Okay, so this headline has been going viral for about the past day or so, and people are understandably upset and reasonably asking questions, so let's talk about it. First and foremost, there are a few things that people need to understand. Number one, your protections against discrimination, specifically in the workplace, did not start in 1965 through an executive order by the president, nor did they stop being modified in 1965 by the same executive order. So where do they come from? Your protections against discrimination in the workplace are either constitutionally based or they come from legislation passed by Congress. Notice neither one of those two things mentioned an executive order from the president. So where's the confusion? Let me explain it. Federal discrimination acts like Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 already prohibits employers from discriminating on the basis of race, color, religion, sexuality, a number of things. And that's only been modified throughout the court system over the years to include things like age and disabilities. So if all of that came from the Constitution and federal discrimination acts passed by Congress, what did this executive order actually talk about? This executive order basically mandates that federal contractors and federal contractors only have to have affirmative action programs in place in order to keep their federal contracts. This doesn't mean that now that this is revoked, that these same companies can start going out and discriminating on who they choose to and not to hire, because that's federal law. That's part of the Constitution. That has already been decided by the courts that it's illegal. So no, this has nothing to do with that. But you can expect to see a lot more misleading headlines like this because companies and people and blogs get paid to post stuff like this in order to stoke division. This headline has been going
the okay, the that the president of the United States not only has shut down like DEI and all his efforts, he's also revoking our work. What are we gonna accountable? And nobody's batting an eye. And I'm sick to my stomach. I thank God I don't have to work today. I'm a mess right now. But as a person who leads the DEI work, what are we gonna go in and say when new hires start saying, well, the president said we can't do DEI? So I refuse to do this. Like, it's coming. I know it's coming. He even told the people who work for the government who work in DEI, the programs are ending and they are being put on basically a furlough, a leave without pay as of 5 p.m. today. This is directly affecting people. This feels like a direct attack on the American people. It feels like a direct attack on humanity because these are
colored of any kind of an ethnicity that you the federal government. Some breaking news here. Donald Trump has just revoked the Equal Opportunity Employment Executive Order signed by LBJ back in 1965. Now, this was a bedrock policy. This was highly impactful back in the 1960s. Women and men of color were trying hard to have careers in the government, and this helped them. From what I understand, from what I was reading up on the articles and everything, is that he's trying to basically going to start cutting DEI hires, employees, and whatnot out of the federal government. Now, a lot of people are upset about this, and a lot of people also need to understand why he's doing this. And I am not saying I agree with it. How he's doing this. And I am not saying I agree with it. However, this is basically him trying to get rid of the stigma of, hey, because you're trans or you're black or you're gay or you're a woman or you're colored of any kind of an ethnicity, that you are a diversity hire, which in and of itself is insulting to people of different creeds, sexes, religions, backgrounds, races, to sit there and say, I'm hiring you because of this, because they want to use you like a mascot to bring other people in to, you know, following them, voting for them, supporting them, because they go, hey, look, I've got the trans person, the black person, the woman, the, you know, that kind of thing. That I disagree with that ever being okay, because that's just as bigoted as being against those people, because you're just using them as bait. This is still not the best thing, because he's going to start firing people who have probably been doing their jobs and they're just minding their own business. So I disagree with the fact that he is going to be rolling that back, because I feel like that's going to set a further precedent that it's okay, and that I'm worried that other businesses and companies are going to try to follow this. Not saying that they legally could, because this is, as far as I'm aware, it only affects the federal government. So I don't want to fearmonger here, but let me know what you guys think down below, because some of these executive orders and rollbacks he's doing are very, very, very jarring, to say the least.
All federal diversity, equity, and inclusion staff be put on paid leave and eventually be laid off.
This after promising to dismantle these programs, which could touch on everything from anti-bias training to funding for minority farmers and homeowners.
Yeah, this is happening just moments ago. All federal diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI, offices were closed. This is just one of many executive orders signed by President Trump. It directs the end of any federal programs relating to DEI and puts all federal DEI staff on paid administrative leave until they are laid off. Now, DEI office staffers were ordered to be put on leave at 5 o'clock this evening. All related web pages also are taken down now. The executive action rolls back an order that dates back to Lyndon Johnson's presidency and also ends grants given to DEI federal contractors. Now, Democrats already objecting to President Trump's DEI directive.
Alarming.
Ladies and gentlemen, folks, may I have your attention, please? Ladies, you should all know that I feel really sorry about this.
Oh, shit.
It isn't my decision. I don't have a choice. I have to let you go. What? I have to let you all go.
Wait, we're being fired?
No, not fired. No, let go.
What does that even mean?
You can't work here anymore. It's the law now.
Roger, what law?
I don't have a choice. They gave me 10 minutes. Please, just pack up your things.
This is outrageous. Hey, why is it just the women?
I don't have a choice.
Roger.
nothing as it is. And yet, now we about to have more of nothing at all. This tells you the stupidity of the American people, especially the black community. A bunch of money hungry, greedy fucks.
For every black Republican, I really want y'all to take a long look in the mirror and ask, do you love the color of your skin? Because y'all allowed this man in office. It's something that our ancestors...
Trump signed a record-breaking number of executive orders on his first day in office, so let's go over what they were. One of the executive orders was literally just revoking executive orders that Biden had signed. So I'm going to read off only a few of them because it's like 78 of them. So let's just read a few. Advancing racial equity and support for underdeserved communities through the federal government, revoked. Continuing to strengthen Americans' access to affordable quality health coverage, revoked. Advancing equality for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and intersex individuals, revoked. Strengthening Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act, revoked. Supporting the reopening and continuing operation of schools and early childhood education providers, revoked. Preventing and combating discrimination on the basis of gender identity or sexual orientation, revoked. Protecting public health and the environment and restoring science to tackle the climate crisis, revoked. Establishment of an interagency task force on the reunification of families, revoked. Guaranteeing an educational environment free from discrimination on the basis of sex, including sexual orientation or gender identity, revoked. White House initiative on advancing educational equity, excellence, and economic opportunity for Black Americans, revoked. He also revoked that for Asians, Hispanics, and Native Americans. His other executive orders include a regulatory freeze on all government agencies until the Trump administration can assert control. He put a halt to all federal hiring with exceptions for the military and a few other essential services. A requirement for all federal workers to return to full-time in-person work. So if you're a federal employee with a work-from-home job or remote job, no. Done for. Donezo. One I can agree with, directing all government agencies to address the cost of living crisis. Finally, a withdrawal from the Paris Climate Treaty. This is a treaty that was created by a bunch of other countries to combat climate control, like together. And Trump basically was like, nah, we gonna back out of that. And that's just so crazy to do, considering that LA just had devastating, record-breaking wildfires. And not to mention, last year was recorded to be the hottest year ever. So, yeah, there's that. He also withdrew the U.S. from the World Health Organization. A government-wide order preventing censorship and restoring Americans' freedom of speech. And this one kind of gives me mixed feelings because, like, yeah, we're censored too much. But also, at the same time, that's basically opening up the door for everybody just to be able to say whatever they want with no fact-checking. Basically, fact-checking on social media now is, like, obsolete. Also pardoned all of the criminals that were involved in the January 6th shenanigans. He signed an order to delay the TikTok ban for another 75 days. I'm not giving him no praise for that. You fucking started it. So, yeah, as you fucking should. He signed an order that requires federal agencies to treat biological men and women as separate sexes, halt promoting gender ideology, and requires certain agencies to revert to recognizing only male and female on forms. He also signed an order to redefine birthright citizenship. So if y'all don't know what that is, it's when an immigrant comes into this country and they're not a citizen, but they have a baby in this country and their baby is now a citizen of the United States. He basically wants to redefine that, like, nah, if you were born to an immigrant, that doesn't automatically make you a citizen of the U.S. He also signed an action that named 2 major drug cartels in Mexico as terrorist organizations, which means that he can now send American soldiers into Mexico on Mexican soil to fight these said terrorist organizations. He signed an executive order to rename the Gulf of Mexico into now the Gulf of America. And of course, y'all gotta know, he also signed an executive order to streamline the process of drilling oil. He wants to drill, baby, drill. So, yeah.
he also plans to sign like 100 more executive orders on his first day in office. So all I have to say to that is God bless America.